Hey everyone, and welcome back to Talk Tickers. You know what time it is?
Oh, yeah.
Earnings season.
It's that time.
And today, we are diving deep into Kroger's Q3 2024
All right.
earnings call.
Let's do it.
We've got the transcript right here, hot off the presses, along with some market summaries and some recent news articles, just to give us,
Let's get the full picture.
the full picture of what's going on. Our mission to figure out if Kroger is truly winning in this ever-changing grocery landscape.
It's a fascinating time for the grocery industry.
Isn't it?
I think so. You've got inflation, the rise of online grocery shopping, and consumers constantly shifting their spending habits. I mean, Kroger seems to be navigating these waters pretty well.
Oh, they definitely beat analyst expectations this quarter, reporting an adjusted EPS of 98 cents.
That's
A 3% increase.
Whoa.
Year over year. I mean, in this economy,
Yeah.
a 3% increase.
That's not bad.
Isn't too shabby.
Right? Not bad at all.
What's driving that success?
A couple things. Stand out from the call. Their pharmacy
Okay.
and their digital strategies seem to be paying off.
Really?
Big time. Think about it. All these new weight loss drugs. The GLP-1s. Everyone's talking about them.
Right.
And Kroger's pharmacies.
Right.
Right there.
Right there to fill those prescriptions.
Exactly. And their digital platform, delivery sales alone, jumped 18%.
18%. That's a pretty significant jump.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about those of us who still prefer to shop in person?
Right.
I've got to admit, sometimes I side-eye those sad-looking lettuce bags. Kroger's been talking a lot about freshness lately.
They have.
So I'm curious, are they actually delivering on that promise?
It seems so. Their produce sales are up, and they're implementing some interesting tech solutions to keep things fresh. And like RFID tags.
RFID tags, what are those?
They're these tiny little chips that can track information. They're using them in the bakery to monitor the freshness and optimize their inventory.
Wow, that's interesting. So they're taking that information and they're using it to make sure that when you go to buy that loaf of bread, it's going to be the freshest loaf of bread.
As fresh as it can be.
They can possibly give you.
That's pretty cool.
They're also working on getting that produce from farm to cart faster.
Okay.
More days of crispness for you.
More crisp. Less sad-looking lettuce.
Exactly.
All right. RFID tags in the bakery. That's pretty cool. It sounds like they're really embracing technology.
It does.
But let's talk about something else that they're embracing.
Okay.
Our brand's product.
Our brands?
It seems like their private label is outperforming national brands when it comes to sales growth.
It seems that way.
And I'm sure those higher margins are making them pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
It's a smart strategy.
It is a smart strategy.
Everyone's looking for value these days.
They are.
And our brands are well positioned to meet that demand. They are. They're also not skimping on quality. They're constantly innovating and even offer guarantees.
Guarantees on some of their Kroger branded products.
Yeah, it's all about building trust with the consumer.
That makes sense. If you're going to convince people to choose a generic brand, you got to show them.
You've got to show them.
It's just as good, if not better, than the name brand.
Exactly.
Speaking of choices, what about those of us who prefer to shop online? Digital sales are booming, but we all know those delivery logistics can be a real money pit.
Yeah.
How is Kroger tackling that profitability challenge?
They're really focused on making their digital operations more efficient.
So it's like automating things?
Yeah, things like that. Automation, route optimization, maybe even a little AI magic.
AI sprinkled in.
The goal is to offer a seamless digital experience without sacrificing profitability.
So seamless and profitable.
That's the dream.
That's the dream, right?
It is.
But what about the human element?
Right.
We know that happy employees are essential for a good customer experience. Kroger ratified some new labor agreements this quarter, but negotiations are ongoing.
Still ongoing.
How are they balancing employee compensation with the need to keep grocery prices affordable?
It's a balancing act for sure.
It is.
It is. You've got to keep employees happy.
Yeah.
But you also have to consider the impact on customers and the overall business model. Kroger seems to be emphasizing their commitment to their employees while also being mindful of the bottom line.
So it sounds like they're juggling a lot right now.
They are.
Investing in technology, focusing on their private label, keeping up with digital trends, and navigating those tricky labor negotiations. But overall, it seems like they're having a pretty strong quarter.
They are. But there are always challenges.
Always challenges.
Lurking around the corner. Think about those ongoing labor negotiations. Finding a solution that works for everyone is not easy.
No.
And while inflation seems to be cooling down, still a factor. Along with potential supply chain disruptions. And, consumers are always changing their minds.
Those ever-changing consumer preferences.
Exactly.
A lot to keep track of.
It is.
You're telling me I feel like I need a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Just to follow along with all these moving parts.
Yeah.
But that's why we're here, right?
That's what we do.
To break it all down and figure out what it all means for investors and, of course, for the everyday grocery shopper.
The everyday shopper.
Speaking of shoppers,
yes.
Kroger talked about catering to different customer segments. Those looking for value. Those who prefer premium products.
Premium.
And those who are budget conscious.
Budget conscious.
How are they tailoring their offerings to appeal to all these different groups?
That's where their multi-tiered approach comes in.
Okay.
You've got our brands. For value-conscious shoppers,
Okay.
premium brands, like Private Selection. For those seeking a little something extra.
Right. So they've got this wide spectrum of offerings.
Yes.
That they can tailor to whatever the customer is looking for.
Absolutely. And their focus on fresh produce and digital convenience appeals to a broad range of customers, especially as we head into the busy holiday season.
You're right. The holidays are just around the corner.
They are.
I can already picture those crowded aisles and overflowing shopping carts. But maybe this year, more people will opt for a seamless digital experience that Kroger keeps talking about.
It's possible.
They're investing heavily in fulfillment centers and technology to make online ordering, pickup and delivery even more convenient. How do those investments fit into their overall strategy?
It's all about capturing a larger share of that rapidly growing online grocery market.
So they're really trying to get ahead of the curve when it comes to that digital experience.
Right. And hopefully those investments lead to happier customers and more loyal shoppers.
Makes sense.
Which ultimately means increased sales. And as their digital platform grows, they can gather even more data.
More data.
Which allows them to
personalize the shopping experience.
Exactly. And create targeted marketing campaigns. So they're essentially building a digital ecosystem that complements their brick and mortar stores.
It's fascinating.
It is.
How technology is transforming the grocery shopping experience.
It really is.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not just about selling groceries anymore.
No.
Kroger's also building up their alternative profit streams.
Alternative profit streams.
Particularly the retail media network. They're leveraging their massive amount of customer data to attract advertisers and generate additional revenue.
Smart.
What are your thoughts on the potential of this segment?
I think it's a brilliant move. I mean, think about it. They've got a vast network of stores and a loyal customer base, which gives them a treasure trove of data.
Advertisers
are constantly looking for targeted insights.
Yeah, they want to know where to spend their money.
And Kroger can provide that.
And they're going to pay Kroger to do that.
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
Win-win.
For both Kroger and their advertising partners.
It is.
It's like they're becoming this data-driven marketing platform.
Yeah.
Disguised as a grocery store.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about something that's been generating a lot of buzz.
What's that?
The potential merger.
The merger.
With Albertsons. We can't get into any legal specifics.
Right.
Due to the ongoing litigation.
Of course.
But if this merger were to be approved, what kind of impact could it have on the grocery landscape?
I mean, it would be huge. We'd be looking at a grocery behemoth.
A behemoth.
Nationwide presence.
Oh boy.
Potentially reshaping the entire industry. I mean, they would have incredible buying power, a wider selection of products, and a much broader reach for their brands. Of course, there are concerns about potential job losses.
Right.
And reduced competition in certain markets.
It's a complex situation.
It is.
A lot of potential ramifications.
Definitely a story to follow closely.
It is. But speaking of competition,
okay,
Kroger isn't just battling it out with other supermarkets. They're going head to head with giants like Amazon, Costco, even dollar stores.
Dollar stores.
How are they differentiating themselves in this crowded marketplace?
Well, by focusing on what they do best. Fresh produce, a strong private label portfolio, a seamless digital experience, and a personalized approach to customer engagement they're trying to create. A unique value proposition.
Value seems to be a key theme for them.
It does.
And I've also been talking about controlling costs, and improving efficiency, especially in their digital operations. How are these efforts impacting their bottom line?
Well, by streamlining their operations, they can reduce overhead expenses and improve profitability.
They're trying to get
more efficient.
So they can ultimately save money. And make more money.
Exactly.
Okay. And as their digital platform grows, they can leverage technology and automation to make everything even more efficient, ultimately driving down costs.
Yeah, it's all about optimizing their business model for the long haul.
It sounds like they're laying the groundwork for a strong future.
It does. Their stock has been performing well.
Yeah, their stock is doing well.
And they've expressed confidence
Confidence.
in their ability to deliver long-term shareholder value.
So, what are some key takeaways for investors as they evaluate Kroger's prospects?
I mean, there are a lot of positive signs.
Okay.
Their financial performance is strong. They've got these strategic initiatives that they're working on.
Yeah.
And they're clearly focused on innovation and customer experience. So they seem to be well-positioned for continued success.
Investors should also consider,
of course,
potential challenges.
Challenges.
Like those ongoing labor negotiations.
Right.
And that ever-evolving competitive landscape.
That's a lot to keep an eye on.
It is.
But that's the world of investing for you.
It is. It's always a balancing act.
It is.
Now, before we wrap up.
Deep dive into Kroger's Q3 earnings. I'm curious. What stood out to you the most?
I think what impressed me the most was their adaptability and resilience. They're not just reacting to changes in the market. They're actively shaping their future. And, they're investing in the areas that matter most.
The things that matter most.
To consumers, value, convenience, and quality, while carefully managing costs.
They're trying to strike that balance between giving the customer what they want at a price they can afford and doing it in a way that's sustainable for the business.
Right. And they're proving they can compete effectively against both traditional and non-traditional players. Yeah. And their long-term vision seems both ambitious and achievable.
I completely agree. Now, it's time for our favorite segment.
All right.
This is not financial advice.
Here we go.
Where we throw out a completely outrageous, but somehow plausible trade idea, just for fun.
Love it.
Okay, hear me out.
I'm listening.
What if we short Boar's Head?
Short Boar's Head and go long Kroger.
Long Kroger. Interesting.
I'm telling you, those deli meat recalls have got to be hurting Boar's Head. Maybe they're ripe for the picking. And Kroger can swoop in with their Our Brand's deli meats and steal some market share.
That's a bold move.
It is. But hey, who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things.
In the world of investing.
That's true. Again, listeners, this is not financial advice.
Of course not.
Don't make any rash decisions based on our deli meat-fueled speculation.
Absolutely not.
But it is a pretty entertaining way.
It is fun to think about.
To tie things together, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's all about connecting those dots, even if it's just for fun. All right, everyone, keep those shopping carts rolling and those minds engaged. We'll catch you on our next deep dive into the world of earnings calls.
See, it really is.
Something that really caught my ear during the call was their emphasis on alternative profit streams.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly that retail media network.
That retail media network.
They're building.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking about that.
It's like they're creating their own advertising empire.
An empire.
Fueled by all the data.
All that data.
They've been collecting on their customers.
Exactly. They've got this huge advantage with their massive store network and that loyalty program. They can give advertisers incredibly granular insights into customer behavior.
So they can tell them what people are buying.
Yeah.
But when they're buying it.
And when they're buying it.
Even what they're browsing.
Even what they're browsing. That makes their platform incredibly valuable.
So it's not just about selling groceries anymore, right?
Not anymore.
It's almost like they're becoming a
data-driven
marketing platform.
Precisely. And it's all part of a bigger picture. A robust online presence combined with a sophisticated advertising network.
It creates this powerful ecosystem.
An ecosystem. Imagine this. The more customers they attract online, the more data they gather, which in turn makes their platform even more attractive to advertisers. It's a self-perpetuating cycle.
Like a flywheel effect. Very cool. It definitely makes for a compelling story for investors. They're not just a traditional grocery chain anymore. They're becoming this tech-savvy, data-driven retailer.
Exactly.
Now, let's zoom in a bit on their digital strategy. They mentioned investing in fulfillment centers and technology to improve online ordering, pickup, and delivery. It's almost like they're building a parallel universe to their physical stores.
It's essential these days.
It really is.
Consumers want convenience and flexibility, and Kroger's clearly committed to meeting those expectations.
I completely agree, but those delivery services can get expensive.
They can.
How are they handling that profitability challenge?
Well, they're investing strategically in automation, route optimization, and other technologies to streamline the process. They're also exploring ways to use their existing store network for online fulfillment, which helps reduce costs.
So they're trying to use what they've already got
Exactly.
to make things more efficient.
To make things more efficient.
Right. It's all about finding that balance.
The balance.
Offering a seamless experience without breaking the bank.
Right.
And speaking of innovation, they also mentioned using AI to predict sales trends and manage inventory.
It's incredible.
It is pretty cool.
Imagine having a crystal ball.
A crystal ball.
That tells you what people are going to buy before they even know it themselves. AI can analyze mountains of data, identify patterns, and make predictions that humans simply can't. It's a game changer.
So instead of just relying on past data, they can actually start to predict the future.
Exactly.
Using AI.
Using AI.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
It is.
Now let's talk about something that's impacting all retailers.
What's that?
Inflation.
Inflation.
Kroger mentioned they're seeing some signs of it cooling down.
Yeah.
But it's still a major factor, affecting both their costs and consumer behavior. How are they handling this volatile economic environment?
They're taking a two-pronged approach, being proactive on the supply chain side and focusing on value for the customer.
Trying to control what they can control on the supply chain, and then making sure that they are still appealing to that value-conscious customer.
Exactly. They're actively managing their supply chain, negotiating with suppliers, and finding creative ways to minimize the impact of price increases. At the same time, they're leveraging our brands to provide more affordable options for shoppers, feeling the pinch.
So they're playing both offense and defense.
Offense and defense.
When it comes to inflation. Smart move. Now, they briefly touched on their efforts to improve the customer experience, but I'd love to hear more. They want to create a full, fresh and friendly shopping environment. How are they bringing that vision to life?
Well, it's all about the details, really. They're investing in employee training to ensure everyone is knowledgeable and helpful. They're also overhauling store layouts, making things easier to navigate. And more visually appealing.
Okay, so thinking about things like improved signage, a focus on cleanliness, and organization, a more inviting atmosphere.
And there's not just focusing on the in-store experience, right? They're working on enhancing their digital platform, too. Making it more user-friendly and intuitive.
So it's about a holistic approach.
A holistic approach. Elevating the customer experience across all channels, or even using technology to personalize the experience, offering tailored recommendations, promotions, and rewards based on what customers like and buy.
Wow. So they're really going the extra mile to personalize things.
They are.
All right. Let's shift gears.
Okay.
And talk about what this all means for investors. Kroger stock has been doing well. And they seem confident about delivering long-term shareholder value. What are some key factors investors should keep in mind when looking at Kroger's prospects?
Well, there's several key factors. First and foremost is their ability to execute that digital strategy and grow their share of the online market. Secondly, their success in managing costs, particularly in their digital operations, will be crucial for profitability.
So making sure that those investments in the digital space actually pay off.
Exactly. Thirdly, their ability to navigate inflation and maintain competitive pricing will be a key factor.
So keeping prices low.
Also
managing those costs.
Exactly. And finally, attracting and retaining top talent in a tight labor market will be essential for continued success.
So a healthy mix
of
growth, efficiency,
adaptability
are what investors should be looking for.
Okay.
Precisely. And they should also keep a close eye on Kroger's innovation initiatives,
Like what?
such as
Yeah.
the use of AI
AI.
and the expansion of those alternative profit streams, those are areas with real potential for future growth.
So don't just look at what they're doing today. Look at where they're going, where they're headed. It's fascinating to see how Kroger is evolving, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. They're not standing still. They're embracing innovation and adapting to the new retail landscape. But let's not forget about the bigger picture
Okay.
for a moment.
We're in a period of economic uncertainty with inflation, rising interest rates, and global tensions all impacting consumer sentiment. How well positioned is Kroger to navigate these potential headwinds?
So, given this environment of uncertainty, how is Kroger going to do?
Well, they've highlighted their diversified business model
Diversified.
as a major strength.
Okay.
You got groceries, pharmacy fuel, and those alternative profit streams. It's like having a diversified investment portfolio.
It's like they've got all their eggs
in different baskets.
in different baskets.
So if one area starts to struggle, we've got other areas that can help pick up the slack.
Exactly. It helps mitigate risk and provides multiple avenues for growth.
Like they've got all their bases covered.
All their bases covered.
And their focus on value and affordability resonates with consumers who are feeling the squeeze.
Exactly. In uncertain times, people tend to prioritize value. And Kroger's in a prime position to meet that demand.
So people want cheaper groceries. Kroger's going to give them to them.
Exactly.
They've also mentioned their efforts to control costs and improve efficiency, which becomes even more important if economic conditions deteriorate.
Absolutely. Staying lean and agile is key in a volatile environment.
Now let's talk about their private label strategy.
Their private label.
For a moment, they've been aggressively expanding their Our Brands portfolio.
They have.
And it seems to be paying off. What's driving that success?
Well, for starters, the quality of their private label products has improved.
So they're actually making better products now.
Significantly in recent years. And they're offering a much wider range of options.
A wider range of options.
To appeal to different tastes and budgets, from budget-friendly to premium.
So they've really kind of broadened the appeal of that private label.
Exactly. And they're using their data and insights to develop products that are tailored to specific customer preferences. So they're not just slapping a generic label on something anymore, are they?
No, they're really investing in innovation and quality.
They are, to create brands that can stand shoulder to shoulder with national brands.
And they're leveraging their size and purchasing power to keep prices competitive, which is a huge draw for consumers.
A huge draw. They're also focusing on branding and marketing, giving those private label brands distinct identities that are more appealing and recognizable to shoppers. It's not just about offering a cheaper alternative anymore. It's about building brands that customers trust and prefer over the national brands.
So they're really trying to make those Our Brands just as good as, if not better than, the national brand.
They've definitely come a long way with their private label strategy.
They have. Now, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
Their use of AI.
AI.
Talk about using it. To manage inventory and predict sales trends, which is fascinating.
It is.
Can you elaborate on how AI is changing the grocery industry?
It's a revolution. AI is changing everything about how retailers operate.
Everything. Wow.
Think about it. AI can analyze huge amounts of data to identify patterns, predict demand, and optimize pricing and inventory levels. For Kroger, this means less waste, increased efficiency, and a more personalized shopping experience.
It really is changing everything.
It is.
It's like having
It's like super-powered assistant
that can crunch millions of data points and make decisions in real time.
It really is. And the more data Kroger collects, the smarter their AI becomes, creating this positive feedback loop of continuous improvement.
Now let's revisit
Okay.
that potential merger.
The merger.
With Albertsons. We can't go into legal specifics because of the litigation, but let's talk about the broader implications.
Broader implications.
If this merger were to go through,
Right.
how might it change the grocery landscape?
It would be a seismic shift.
A seismic shift.
You'd have this grocery giant with a national footprint,
A national foot.
potentially reshaping the competitive dynamics
Yeah.
of the entire industry.
Wow. So this could really change the game.
It could. Think increased buying power,
Buying power.
expanded product offerings, and a wider reach for both Kroger and Albertsons brands.
Okay, so it could be good for the brands. It could be good for consumers in some ways.
But of course, there are also concerns about potential job losses.
Job losses.
And less competition in certain markets.
So you could also see some negative consequences.
You could.
It's a complicated situation.
It is a complicated situation.
With potential benefits and drawbacks.
And drawbacks.
The regulators will certainly have their work cut out for them.
They will.
Now, let's shift gears to something a bit more lighthearted.
Okay.
It's time for This Is Not Financial Advice.
All right.
Where we come up with a wild but plausible trade idea.
A wild but plausible trade idea.
Just for kicks.
Always a fun segment.
What outlandish idea have you cooked up this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what if, and hear me out,
Okay.
we short Boar's Head
Short Boar's Head.
and go long Kroger?
I knew those deli meat recalls would spark an idea.
I told you. It's a perfect storm. Boar's Head's struggling, and Kroger is strategically positioned to swoop in with our brand's deli meats and capture market share.
It's a bold move.
It is.
But hey, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things
And
in the market.
just remember, listeners, this is all hypothetical.
It is.
Do your own research before making any investment decisions.
Yes, it's just us having some fun.
Having some fun.
Okay.
But it is a great example.
It is of how seemingly unrelated events can have ripple effects
Ripple effects.
in the market. Loyal customers are.
The lifeblood of any successful business.
They really are. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From Kroger's impressive earnings to their
Yeah.
ambitious plans for the future.
Uh-huh.
But before we wrap things up, I'm curious to hear your overall assessment. What's your big picture takeaway from this deep dive into Kroger's Q3 earnings call?
You know what strikes me the most is how Kroger is embracing change and transforming themselves to meet the evolving needs of their customers. I mean, they're investing in the right areas.
Yeah.
Fresh produce, a compelling private label portfolio, and a seamless digital experience. But they're also tackling challenges head on. Inflation, labor relations, and fierce competition with a combination of strategic planning and innovative thinking. It's clear they're playing the long game.
The long game.
And they seem well positioned for continued success.
I couldn't agree more. It's been fascinating to unpack their strategy.
Yeah.
And see how they're navigating the complexities of the modern grocery landscape.
It really is a complex landscape.
It is. Now, before we sign off, it's time for our favorite segment.
Oh, yeah.
This Is Not Financial Advice.
Oh, yeah.
Where we throw out a completely outrageous,
outrageous,
but somehow plausible trade idea just for fun.
All right. Let's hear it.
Okay. Imagine this. We short Boar's Head.
Short Boar's Head.
And go long Kroger.
I knew those deli meat recalls would spark an idea. You're betting on Kroger. Capitalizing on Boar's Head's woes, right?
Exactly. With Boar's Head facing challenges, Kroger can swoop in with their Our Brand's deli meats and capture a bigger slice of that market.
A bigger slice.
It's a bold move.
It is.
But hey, who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened.
In the world of investing.
Of course, listeners, this is purely hypothetical and for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Absolutely. But it is a fun thought experiment, isn't it?
It is.
It just goes to show you never know what kind of connections you might find when you take a deep dive into a company's earnings call. All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of Talk Tickers. We've dissected Kroger's performance, explored their strategic vision, and even ventured into the realm of hypothetical trading. We hope you found this deep dive informative and engaging. Until next time, keep those minds sharp and those portfolios balanced on